to visit the LA Sparks for the first time since 2002.
Before you tap away,
Fire
before
and
you
sparks.
even think about skipping this video, I need you to hear me out for exactly 5 seconds. Because what happened inside the Crypto.com arena on the night of June 7th, 2026 was not just a basketball game. It was not just a WNBA regular season matchup. What happened on that floor was demolition, a statement, a message written in blood, sweat, and basketball IQ. Every single team
splitting the D there and gets the
kiss. The final score? Los Angeles Sparks 89.
Good to see her get an early bucket.
But numbers don't tell this story. Numbers
veteran rookie.
The moment Kelsey Plum locked eyes with the Portland bench after a steal and fast break layup.
Short rebound,
Burrell on the run out of that locker room.
Off balance.
Numbers cannot explain how Dearica Hamby
picked up by Nneka on a switch.
Turned into an absolute wrecking ball.
Double figures now with 11.
Scoring in 26 points
take a
and
shot
12
in this ball
rebounds,
game.
making Portland's front court look like it belongs.
6:56 left here in this second
Numbers
quarter.
don't capture what Nneka Ogwumike
in Portland.
20 points. 17 rebounds.
Nice.
A double-double so dominant that you have to go back to the Diana Taurasi to find something that felt this brutally efficient. But here's the part that nobody, and I mean nobody, is talking about. Portland came into this game having won the second quarter. They were up after the first half. They were competitive. They had the crowd, even on the road, holding breath. And then something happened in this third quarter. Something shifted. Something broke. And when it broke completely. The Sparks outscored Portland 23-12 in the third quarter, and then finished them off 25-17
run by LA.
29 second half. That is not a comeback. That is an execution. So
when they freed up Possum from the Sparks,
where's the turning point that flipped this game completely on its head?
Hands off.
And it's Kelsey Plum right now. Today, in June of 2026, the most dangerous player in the entire WNBA, because after what I watched tonight, I am ready to have that debate with anybody. Stay with me, because we are going quarter by quarter, stat by stat, play by play, through one of the most complete second half performances this league has seen in years. I'm going to show you the exact moment this game turned. I'm going to crown the MVP with zero apologies.
Here's Barker.
And I'm going to tell you exactly why Portland Fire fans should be terrified about what's coming next. Stay till the Yendi, because what happened in that third quarter will make your jaw hit the floor. Let's go. Let me paint you a picture. Sunday night, June 7th, 2026. The city of Los Angeles is warm, the Crypto.com arena is buzzing, and two teams are walking into that building with completely different energy, completely different stories, completely different stakes. On one side, you have the Los Angeles Sparks, a franchise with history, a franchise with legacy. When you say Los Angeles Sparks, you are invoking the ghost of Lisa Leslie. You are summoning memories of championship banners and packed arenas and a fan base that knows what winning looks like. And after a few years of rebuilding, of patience, of talent acquisition that took time and trust, this current iteration of the Sparks is starting to show flashes of something special. They are not a powerhouse yet, but they are dangerous. And dangerous teams in June have a way of becoming October problems for everybody else. The Sparks came into this game riding momentum. Just a couple of nights earlier, they had lost to the Dallas Wings 104-96, and that one stung. It stung because it was at home. It stung because the Sparks led for stretches and then let it slip away. So when Portland showed up on their home floor on June 7th, the Sparks were not in a good mood. They were hungry. They had something to prove. There is no more dangerous team in professional basketball than one that just got embarrassed at home and wants to make someone pay. And Portland? Portland came in with their own problems. The Portland Fire, one of the newer organizations in the WNBA expansion era, are a team that is still finding its identity, still finding its voice. They had come off a loss to the Phoenix Mercury on June 6, 78-72 on the road, and before that a 95-77 beating at the hands of the Golden State Valkyries on June 3rd. So Portland had lost 2 straight. And not close losses. These were losses where the opponent took control in the second half and Portland simply could not answer. Sound familiar? Because it was about to happen again. Here is what makes this Portland team fascinating though. They have talent. Do not let anybody tell you otherwise. Megan Gustafson is a legitimate force in the paint. She came into this game as one of the best offensive rebounders in the league, a player who makes you pay for every missed shot with relentless, punishing second-chance opportunities. Emily Engsler is a forward who can impact the game in multiple ways. She plays with effort, she plays with heart, and on a different night, she is the kind of player who flips a game. Carla Leite is a guard who draws contact, gets to the line, and can create offense off the dribble. And Sarah Ashley Barker, running the point, gives Portland a playmaker who can orchestrate, who can push pace, who can find open cutters. The problem? Turnovers. Oh, the turnovers. Portland has had a turnover problem all season, and it was going to be center stage on this night. For Los Angeles, you cannot talk about this team without talking about their star triumvirate. Kelsey Plum, Dearica Hamby, Nneka Ogwumike. When those three are humming, when those three are clicking on all cylinders, the Sparks are a nightmare to guard. Plum is a crafty, fearless guard who will get into the teeth of the defense and dare you to foul her. Hamby is a physical presence who rebounds, scores in traffic, and brings an edge that this franchise has needed for years. And Ogwumike, Nneka Ogwumike, is a veteran who knows how to impose herself on a game in ways that don't always show up in the highlights but absolutely show up in the final score. The psychological edge going into this game? Los Angeles. By a mile. They were at home. They were motivated after the Dallas loss. They had championship DNA in their locker room. And Portland, despite all their potential, was a young team with a losing streak and a propensity for shooting themselves in the foot. This was not just a game. This was a reckoning. And Portland had no idea what was about to hit them. Let's talk about the players. Because this is where games are won and lost, not in the XS and OS on a whiteboard, but in the individual battles that happen 40 feet from the coach and 40 feet from the media and 40 feet from everything except the raw, unfiltered competition of two elite athletes going at each other. Los Angeles Sparks. Top 3 players. Kelsey Plum, guard, the Ice Queen. There are players who perform well. And then there are players who perform when it matters. Kelsey Plum has built her entire reputation on being the second kind. She came into this game averaging strong numbers for the Sparks and carrying the emotional weight of a team that was 2 nights removed from a home loss that should not have happened. When Kelsey Plum is locked in, when her eyes are focused and her jaw is set and she has decided that she is going to impose her will on a basketball game, you are watching one of the most complete offensive guards in the WNBA. Her strengths? Everything. Her ability to get to the line. She entered this game shooting over 80% from the charity stripe. Her ability to make plays for others. Her court vision is genuinely elite, the kind that makes her teammates better just by being on the floor with her. And her steal and pressure ability. She plays passing lanes like a chess master, always 3 moves ahead of whatever the opposing point guard is trying to do. On this night, Plum finished with 16 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals. She went 5-4, 10 from the floor, 5-4, 5 from the free throw line, and her plus-minus of plus 16 was the story of stories. What does Plum need to do to win? Simple. Control the tempo. Force turnovers. And when Portland's guards overcommit to the paint, knock down that corner 3. Which she absolutely did. Dearica Hamby, center/forward. The bulldozer. Oh, Dearica Hamby. If Kelsey Plum is the Ice Queen, Dearica Hamby is the volcano. She is relentless. She is physical. She is the kind player who makes referees earn their paychecks because she is always in the middle of everything. She crashed the offensive glass like her career depended on it. She finished plays through contact. And on this night, she was, without exaggeration, unstoppable in the paint. 22 points. 12 rebounds. Another double-double. She shot 8 for 14 from the floor, 57.1%. She was 6 for 10 from the free throw line, drawing 8 fouls, 8. She had 6 offensive rebounds, 3 fast break points, and 7 second chance points. Her game efficiency score was 21.3, second on the team behind Ogwumike. She was a force of nature. Her matchup against Portland's Megan Gustafson was supposed to be the battle of the bigs, 2 dominant post players going head-to-head. and Gustafson held her own in terms of volume. But Hamby won the battle. She won it in the second half when it mattered. And she did it with the kind of relentless, grinding, won't take no for an answer energy that coaches beg for and fans love. Nneka Ogwumike, forward, the veteran general. 20 years in, and Nneka Ogwumike is still doing this. She is still going out there and posting double-doubles. She is still the smartest player on the floor in almost every game she plays. And on June 7, 2026, she reminded everyone, why her legacy is locked and loaded among the all-time greats of the sport. 20 points, 17 rebounds. A true double-double that was so dominant it bordered on disrespectful. She shot 8 for 14 from the field. She went 2 for 2 from the free throw line. She had 6 offensive rebounds. She had an efficiency game score of 21.5, the highest on either team. And her plus-minus of plus 24 wasn't a statistic, it was a statement. Think about what 17 rebounds means. That means that on nearly every missed shot in this game, every brick, every roll that didn't go in, Nneka Ogwumike was there. Hands up. Body position perfect. Veteran IQ telling her exactly where the ball was going before it even left the rim. This is what 35 years of basketball IQ looks like when it's operating at full power. This is what separates an all-time great from a very good player. Portland had no answer for Ogwumike.
None. Zero.
There was no matchup they could throw at her that she couldn't handle. Megan Gustafson, center, the grinder. Here's the thing about Megan Gustafson. She played hard. She gave everything she had. She finished with 16 points and 11 rebounds, a double-double of her own. She went 6 for 13 from the floor, shot 80% from the free throw line, and she had 7 offensive rebounds. 7. She was relentless on the glass. In any other game, against any other front court, those 16 and 11 numbers are a genuinely excellent performance. The problem is she was going up against Dearica Hamby and Nneka Ogwumike simultaneously. You can't ask one player, even a great one, to handle 2 elite big women by herself. Portland's scheme left Gustafson isolated, and while she battled with everything she had, the sheer mathematics of the situation were impossible to overcome. Emily Ensler, forward, the hustle queen. If there is one Portland player who walked out of Crypto.com arena on June 7th with her head held high, it is Emily Ensler. She went 4 for 7 from the floor, 57.1% shooting. She had 10 points, 8 rebounds, and she played with the kind of grit that makes coaches love you. She was 2 for 2 from the free throw line. She played physical, she played smart, and she was one of the few Fire players whose efficiency numbers were in the positive. But she fouled out with 5 personal fouls, and that was a problem. Because every time a Portland player got into foul trouble, Los Angeles attacked the paint with even more aggression. Ensler's foul trouble in the second half was one of the subplots that allowed the Sparks to go on their devastating second half run. Carla Leite, guard, the fighter. Carla Leite came into this game as Portland's primary ball handler, and primary ball handler responsibilities mean primary blame when things go wrong. She had 10 points on the night. Decent volume. She had 4 assists. She drew an impressive 9 fouls. 9. Which tells you she was aggressive, she was attacking, she was trying. But she also had 4 turnovers. And in a game where Portland turned the ball over 17 times total, 17, Leite's struggles with decision-making were magnified by the Sparks' predatory, pressing defense. She shot just 4 for 13 from the floor, 30.8%. And her plus-minus of minus 21. That's the cold, unforgiving number that tells you she was on the floor for far too much of Los Angeles's best basketball. Key matchup. The guard battle. Kelsey Plum versus the Portland backcourt was the matchup that defined this game. Plum feasted. She used her strength, her craftiness, and her extraordinary basketball IQ to exploit every single defensive lapse Portland showed her. Every time she drove into the paint, she either scored, drew a foul, or found the open Hamby for an easy basket. This is what elite guard play looks like. This is the Kelsey Plum that the entire WNBA has feared for years. Portland's guards, Leite, Barker, Oblak, combined for just 18 points on 7 for 28 shooting. 7 for 28. That is 25% from the field collectively. Against a Plum who is active, aggressive, and turning Portland's offense into a disaster on the other end with her 3 steals. The backcourt battle was over by halftime.
Portland just didn't know it yet.
The opening tip goes to Los Angeles. Crypto.com arena, not packed, but loud in the right moments, the kind of Sunday evening energy that real WNBA fans bring, buzzes with anticipation. The Sparks are wearing their home whites, Portland in their away uniforms. Both teams have that look in their eyes, the look of a team that has been here before and knows that the first 4 minutes of a basketball game can set a psychological tone that lasts all 40. Los Angeles opens with ball movement. Quick swings. Hamby establishing position in the low post immediately. She wants the ball down there. She wants to post. She wants to bully. Portland's defensive rotations are not quite sharp in the first 2 minutes.
Sloppy.
Not enough communication on the switches. And Hamby makes them pay almost immediately, backing down her defender. A little drop step, and a soft layup that rattles home. Sparks by 2. Portland responds. Gustafson wins the offensive rebound off a missed 3 from Barker, puts it back up, and iron. Tied at 2. The Max center would have been rocking for that. Even on the road, when you get that kind of hustle play from your center, the bench is on their feet. But here is where the first quarter starts to tell a story. Kelsey Plum. Early in the quarter, Plum gets the ball on the wing with Carla Leite guarding her one-on-one. Watch this. She gives a little hesitation, just a shoulder dip, and Leite bites. 1 dribble left. Plum is in the paint, and instead of finishing herself, she kicks it to Ogwumike, who is backdoor position. Ogwumike catches, scores.
Easy.
Effortless. Humiliating. That play right there? That is what great guards do to good defenders. They make them make a choice, and then they punish them for whatever they chose. Portland hangs tough. Sarah Ashley Barker pushing pace in transition, getting Bridget Carlton a catch-and-finish opportunity in the paint. Gustafson is active on the boards. Portland's bench, specifically Carly Samuelson, who plays with the energy of someone who has been told she has 12 minutes to change the course of history, brings some life. The first quarter ends, Sparks 24, Fire 21. A 3-point Sparks lead. Portland is competing. Portland is alive. The crowd is engaged, not panicked. Both teams are feeling each other out. This is exactly the kind of close, competitive first quarter that makes you think this might be a game tonight.
Oh.
How wrong that assumption would prove to be. Second quarter. Portland flips the script, temporarily. Nobody expected what happened in the second quarter. Nobody. Portland came out of that first quarter break with a different energy. You could see it in the way they walked back onto the floor. Something was said in that huddle. Something was lit. And for 12 minutes, the Portland Fire played some of the best basketball they had shown in this young season. They pushed the pace. Barker, who had been tentative in the first quarter, started attacking the rim more directly. She got into the paint, drew contact, converted. Engsler was a monster on the defensive glass, ripping rebounds away from Hamby on back-to-back possessions and immediately pushing the ball ahead for fast break opportunities. Portland's bench unit, Frida Buhner, Taja Oblak, Louisa Geiselsoder, came in and gave the starters a burst of energy. Then, and this is the moment that had Sparks fans nervous, Portland goes on a run. They score on 5 consecutive possessions. They are playing with structure, with pace, with confidence. Oblak threads a beautiful pass through traffic to a cutting Gustafson for 2. Barker converts a fast break layup. Engsler draws a foul and hits both free throws. And suddenly, Portland is leading. The second quarter ends with the Fire leading, Portland 43, Sparks 41. Let that sink in. Portland is leading at halftime. The Sparks head to the locker room trailing by 2 points. The Portland bench is animated. The coaching staff is pumping fists. For a brief, glorious 12-minute stretch, this was Portland's game. They had answered the Sparks' physicality with pace and energy. They had attacked the offensive glass. They had, for once, limited their turnovers. But here is what nobody said out loud during that halftime break. Here's the thing that, if you were watching closely enough, should have been terrifying as a Portland fan. Kelsey Plum had barely tried yet. Dearica Hamby had barely tried yet. Nneka Ogwumike, with 17 total rebounds on the night, had only started to wake up. The Sparks had played 58% of their best basketball, and Portland had spent 100% of theirs just to be up 2. The third quarter was coming, and what was coming with it would break Portland's spirit completely. Third quarter, the execution. I want you to take a moment and picture this. You're Portland Fire head coach. You just gave a halftime speech to a team that is leading by 2 points on the road. Your players are energized. They believe. They trust. You have outplayed a veteran Los Angeles team for a full 12 minutes. Everything feels possible. And then the third quarter happens. It happens fast. It happens with the kind of ruthless efficiency that separates good teams from great ones. The Sparks come out of halftime, and they do not waste a single possession. Head coach and staff had clearly made some halftime adjustments. The defensive rotations against Gustafson were tightened. Leighton's driving lanes were clogged. And on offense, they ran the same plays they always run, the same reads they always make, but with a precision and an urgency that the first half had lacked. The turning point comes about 3 minutes into the third quarter. Hamby catches a post-entry pass at the elbow. She has Gustafson on her, and Gustafson is strong, is active, is giving everything she has. But Hamby pump fakes once. Gustafson takes the bait, leaps for the block. Hamby draws the foul. 2 free throws. Both fall. Sparks by 1. And then Kelsey Plum decides that the second half belongs to her. She gets a steal on Portland's next possession, Leighton telegraphing a pass to the wing, and Plum reading it perfectly, jumping the passing lane, catching it in stride, and she doesn't even hesitate. She pushes. Full court, 1 dribble, finger roll off the glass. The crowd erupts. Sparks by 3. Portland tries to answer. Barker drives, but Kelsey Martin, who is 2 blocks in this game, times it perfectly and rejects the attempt clean. Ogwumike rebounds, outlet pass to Plum, and they're off again. Another Sparks basket. This is becoming systematic. Oh my God, did you see that? The arena reacts on every single possession now. Every Sparks score brings a louder response than the one before. Every Portland miss brings a collective groan from the Fire players that you can feel even through a television screen. The most unanswered run of the game, 9 straight points for the Sparks, happens in this third quarter. 9-0. Portland goes cold. Their three-point shooting, which had been shaky all night at just 10.7% for the game, completely abandons them. Carla Leighton jacks up a 3 from the right wing, an answer the call moment, and it's not even close. Bricks off the back of the backboard. The kind of miss that you can feel sucking the air out of a bench. Erica Wheeler, the veteran Sparks guard coming off the bench, adds a pair of clutch three-pointers in this quarter. Wheeler, who doesn't get nearly enough credit, has ice in her veins in moments like this. She spots up in the corner, catches, sets her feet, and splash.
Done.
Nothing but net. You want to talk about a player who delivers when the lights are bright? Wheeler is that player for this Sparks team. Third quarterfinal. Sparks 23, Fire 12. The Sparks are now leading 64-55. That 9-point lead. The 9-point lead that came from a 2-point deficit. A 11-point swing in 12 minutes. The numbers are staggering. But what the numbers don't capture is what that quarter felt like in real time. It felt like watching a champion slowly, methodically, lovingly destroy something that had been carefully built. Portland was competing. Portland was trying. And the Sparks were ending them. The fourth quarter was just going to be the closing of the coffin. You have to give Portland credit for one thing in the fourth quarter. They did not quit. They did not lie down. They kept pushing, kept fighting, kept throwing themselves at a Sparks team that had clearly decided this game was over. That kind of effort in a losing cause, it says something about character. It says something about what this organization is trying to build. But character is not enough when the team across from you has Dearica Hamby going into full monster mode. Hamby in the fourth quarter was something to behold. Every time Portland tried to cut the deficit, and they did try multiple times, Hamby was there. either on the offensive glass cleaning up a miss, or finishing a post move that drew a foul, or running the floor in transition for a fast break layup that put an exclamation point on a possession that had already demoralized the Fire. Her 6 fast break points in this game, all of them came in the third and fourth quarters. When you're breaking down a team, nothing is more demoralizing than watching their center beat your guards down the floor for open layups. It communicates a message that is louder than any trash talk. We are better than you. In every way. And we're going to keep proving it. Ogwumike continues to own the glass in the fourth. She has positioned herself so smartly, so correctly, that Portland's offensive rebounds, which had been a strength for them with 14 on the night, come almost entirely in garbage time when the game is already decided. The meaningful possessions, the ones that matter, Ogwumike locks them down on the defensive glass. Portland's Megan Gustafson, to her infinite credit, keeps fighting. She finishes with 16 and 11. She had 7 offensive rebounds. She hustled on every single play. But in the fourth quarter, with Portland down by double digits, the offense that had to flow through her was predictable and manageable. The Sparks crowded the paint. They made Gustafson work for everything. And the supporting cast around her simply could not create enough offense to make a difference. The most devastating sequence of the fourth quarter comes with about 6 minutes left. Portland, down 13, runs a post entry to Gustafson. She gets the ball, strong drop step, but Hamby is there, body position perfect, and the referee whistles the charge. Gustafson's 4th personal foul. Portland has to sub her out. And on the next possession, Hamby catches in the post against a reserve defender and makes it look absolutely easy.
Game. Set. Match.
Final score. Los Angeles Sparks 89, Portland Fire 72. Scoring by quarter. Q1. Sparks 24, Fire 21 Q2. Sparks 17, Fire 22 Q3. Sparks 23, Fire 12 Q4. Sparks 25, Fire 17. The Sparks outscored Portland by 17 points in the second half. 17. On a night when Portland had been the better team for 12 entire minutes. That is the mark of a team with a locked-in identity, a clear offensive system, and star players who know exactly how to turn a game off like a switch. And that third quarter? That 23-12 third quarter? That was the moment. That was where this game was won and lost.